put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning. Good morning.
Viewers, welcome back this morning to the Tobago Updates morning show. We're chatting this morning with Assemblyman Megan Morrison, the Assistant Secretary for the Division of Tourism, Culture, Antiquities and Transportation. Now, this morning we're on the program. She's on the program to chat about the Goodwood, Mount St. George District Town Hall meeting synopsis. She'll give us an idea of how the meeting went, what took place, some of the areas of concern for the residents and community members. Good morning and welcome to you, Ms. Morrison.
Oh, good morning and good morning, Tobago. A special good morning to my electoral district of Mount St. George Goodwood, which comprises the villages of Bacalet Park, John Dial, Hope, Mount St. George Goodwood, and a small piece of Goldsboro.
All right. And I'm sure they're excited to hear what you've got to say this morning. Now, quite recently, in fact, just about 2 days or so ago, the Goodwood, Mount St. George held their district town hall meeting, and this is an initiative by the Assembly, and so this was their time around. How would you rate that meeting that took place a couple of days ago?
I think we had a very good meeting. It was balanced. Some people brought forward concerns. Some also highlighted the wins in terms of accomplishments in the district. So I think it was a balanced meeting.
All right. Now, amongst the discussions and the conversation, they spoke about the roads within the electoral district. They spoke about agriculture. They spoke about that pavilion at Goodwood, and that seemed to have been a major, seems to be a major issue. Coming out from the meeting, what would you say were the priority areas for the community and residents?
Well, the Goodwood area is one. Definitely the pavilion, because it has been long outstanding, and apart from that, work has stopped. So, of course, the residents will be concerned as to when they will get their pavilion, when they will get their field, because we have young people that have not had the use of a field for quite some time, which, gives way to other activities to find ways to those extra energies when you can't burn them off on the field, who knows what you tend to get into. So that was a major concern. My district is probably the agricultural hub of the island, that Goldsboro area, Pig Farm Road. So water has been a issue there for some time. Of course, the distribution of lands for agricultural purposes, because we have some people who already have lands that are not utilized. How do you treat with that? So that is one of the concerns. Infrastructure work. My district has been neglected for some time, and dare say the entire Tobago have been neglected for some time. So we have walls to be built. We have roads that are in disrepair. For a number of years, we have not made 2 years in office as yet. And of course, with the financial constraints and so on, we cannot do all that in this short space of time. So there is always that need and that cry for the infrastructural development.
Okay, so in terms of the time that we do have now, because you're in office, what, 2.5?
No, a year and
it seems so much longer.
And 5 months, thereabouts.
A year and 5 months. What can the electoral district expect from you now? Because I traverse that road every day, morning and evening, morning and evening, and I look at the roads, I look at the drains, I look at the sidewalk. There were no sidewalks in place. Pavement, we call it here in the Caribbean, but it's a sidewalk. I look at children walking to school, having to walk and look back at oncoming traffic. You as a parent, you are concerned about your child making it safely to school, getting there, safely, because there are no proper sidewalks, and this is the way life has been ever since. But what can they expect in terms of the roads, the job opportunities, agriculture, not just the pavilion, but what can they expect within as one of the low-hanging fruits?
Well, I'm glad you said low-hanging fruits. So recently, some jobs came on board from the Division of Works. So a lot of the young people in the communities are engaged. this morning I was so happy to pass on the roads and see this young lady shoveling dirt on John Dial stretch there where some development is happening. And to see she's clearing the main road to not have the debris affect traffic, right? So I was happy to see that the young people are engaged to some degree. I can say that no major infrastructural work will happen right away because that requires a special type of funding. But I can see in the short term where some roads will be patched and so on to alleviate some of the potholes in the areas. So Secretary James, looking to you for some support in that area. In terms of the agriculture sector, some lands will be redistributed, right?
You say redistributed?
Yes, because if you have not been using your lands for a number of years that was assigned for agricultural purposes, we will now look at redistributing that lands to young farmers and persons who are interested in the sector, right? So those are some of the few things that will happen in the short term.
All right, and one of the persons that was at the meeting 2 days ago, Dr. Jimmy Toussaint, I did speak with him, and he did send me a message. He wants the assembly to become more aggressive with WASA, especially when the roads are dug up, to have them repaired promptly. The countryside road is becoming worse and worse, and it is putting a strain on vehicles when drivers have to pay more for gas, pay more for diesel, and you have
pay more for parts,
and you have to traverse these roads. It is putting a strain on your vehicles. The cost of living has not yet risen. Somebody say amen. There's still no rise in terms of salaries, so the cost of living is high.
Right,
but not the
living wage and
not the
so
wages.
on.
That's right. My mistake. Not the wages. Our wages have not increased. Some persons are still fighting and struggling to get what belongs to them.
Yes. He has a point, because we have had some struggles with WASA to do immediate repairs. Sometimes the repairs take a really long time. As a matter of fact, in some cases, works have to resort to repairing these roads that WASA should be repairing. Yeah. So he's correct. I think we have to make an extra effort to get WASA to do their due diligence on time and to have us have a sense of relief, because the Division of Works has its work cut out for it on a normal day. Far less if they have to do extra because one of our agencies are falling down on the job.
Now, I know at the end of the day, people are tired of the talk, and they want to see action. I know if persons could press a button, they would want to see things happen today for tomorrow.
Which is unfair, but yes, that is how some people see it.
It's been in disrepair for such a long time that they want to see results now.
I understand.
They want to see results now. So like I said, persons are tired of the talk and they want to see results now. Again, what do you say to your community? And I heard some of the comments coming out from the meeting, because I was listening over and over, and some of what the persons on the ground had to say. In your opinion, and I asked this question earlier, what would you say are the immediate, what can you do immediately? Are there any other immediates in terms of the low-hanging fruits? And not just the things that will take the chunk of the money here, but what can be done now to see some results within your electoral district?
So what I can say, my district has been, I would like to say, socially driven. My office always provide food hampers outside of what the THA would do. We have run several social initiatives. We have done computer classes. We have done sewing classes. As a matter of fact, that class graduated this very week from, since November, they were in classes, and that class ended on March. So we are trying to build capacity. Our district is trying to build capacity. And I dare say some of the other districts, because they have run procurement classes and so on in the various districts, to bring people to the level where they can be self-sufficient, where they can build capacity, because in doing so, you are enabling a young contractor to now be able to bid for a small job and these kind of stuff. The sewing classes we held, we hope that at the end of this, that few people from the class will now look at opening a sewing factory. As I said to them, we have 5 schools in our district alone. And if they can cater to those uniforms for those 5 schools, imagine that. And that's just a stepping stone. So that was just an example. So we are trying to build capacity within the people. While we may not have the resources to do infinite stuff, we are working on alleviating some of the plights of the people. Homes, we have done our first, well, not in my district, but on the whole, and that will be replicated across the island. The social housing program, where persons who are desperately in need and at the lower end of the spectrum have a little hope that they can have somewhere to live as a result of the social housing program. So my district had 3 fires within the last couple months this year, and one of the homes will benefit from that social program. One was an elderly lady in Jondal. The site have already been cleared and so on, so she will benefit from that housing program. And this will happen across the island. My district is one of those that earmark for immediate relief. So, and expect more of that. I can't speak to everything because we just got some revelation at Executive Council yesterday, but you all will hear more from that. That.
Now you spoke about some of the wins. What are some of the wins within the district?
Okay, so my district have its annual book drive, which I started before I took office. And that will continue every year. That brings textbooks and stationaries to the persons in my electoral district, right? So we get a list of the schools in the area, what are the books required from the Division of Education, and we try to, as best as possible, to supply those, to supply those books. It ranges in thousands of dollars. We also have an eye testing program that we also do every year during the vacation period as well. There is also that right, so we have run several courses as well. And we have also, there is a farming community at Hillsborough, that's in Mount St. George, that have been clamoring for the road to be repaired for some time, really some time. And while the road is not repaired as yet, we send some heavy equipment in there to at least make the road a little passable until it can actually be fixed, right? So we have partnered with some community-based organizations, the village councils, the Swift International, where we partnered with them to run some courses and so on. I held soup kitchens in my district as well, both in Goodwood and in Jondal. So it's a lot, right? We had some drains completed that were started under the previous administration. One in particular is Hope. So while we don't have the heavy stuff done as yet, a lot of work have been doing in the background and helping people on an individual basis. And so I think people are quite happy for that.
All right. I want to thank you this morning for taking the time to be here with us. I know uneasy is the head that wears the crown. And so I know it's not about glamour and glitz, but it's about keeping your feet on the ground and ensuring that the work is done.
Yes, I can agree with that. And I dare say I think I need to be a little bit more present in my district. You know, I like to be fair, but they will see me because, you know, I wear different hats on a day-to-day basis. So, you know, the workload is heavy. I'm not complaining at all. I actually get bored easy, so I like when I'm busy, right? So to the residents, if you may not see me as much as you would like to, I've made a promise to myself that I would make myself more available, even if it's on a Sunday, to try to reach out to persons in my electoral district, probably do a street today, another street another day, and so on, until you touch everyone.
All right, but thank you so much again for chatting with us this morning. Assemblyman Megan Morrison, Assistant Secretary for the Division of Tourism, Culture, Antiquities and Transportation. There was lots more coming up this morning on the Tobago Updates morning show. Julian is going to be joining us back on set as he chats with Melissa Yearwood-Jack, Community Outreach Program Officer for TEMA. And the discussion continues on the National Disaster Prevention and Preparedness Month. So share the live, share the live, share the live.